it's crazy to me you can't leave. Like,
and the stress
so
of
your future basically.
There is
I'm just
none.
talking now. I'm not even meaning for
well,
the video.
and see,
like,
there was, and like I said, I'm trying to figure out how to cut this damn phone. There was a couple times, and like I said, I wasn't there for drugs or alcohol or nothing. This phone is tripping me out. It will not cut off.
You want me to see it?
just hold it for a really long time, maybe like mine.
Here's what I found.
Oh, shut up, Google.
Like I said, I was not on drugs or alcohol or fiending for anything, but on no medicine or anything. But there were a couple times that I was like, I've got to get out of here.
Oh yeah, you get stir crazy.
Yeah, I've got to go somewhere. And so I did.
Good job. Baby.
I did walk down to the river. There was a river there and a creek, and I would go down there and just get arrowheads or what, look for rocks and stuff, and until I found out they had cameras down there.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I understand that the camera situation of for people's safety.
Right. Yeah.
You know, if
I get that.
in my situation too.
Yeah, you don't want.
However, there's no need to have cameras at the creek where we walk to for peace, and there's no need to have cameras at every angle pointing at everybody. I mean, you're under enough stress living in a tent.
Mm-hmm. Especially in the cold.
In the freezing cold, because the night that I went there, it was, I think, 22 degrees.
Oh my gosh.
That was during the really bad cold snap.
Yeah. And I mean, it's so much like.
Was it her cameras or was it the campground's cameras?
No, hers.
Oh, so she come in there and set up cameras on the campground.
Yeah, and she's
really.
She said that she has 11 cameras with her right now.
And she wasn't saying it just to scare you. You could actually see them.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about that. That's the first time I actually heard that.
Yeah.
We're learning a lot of things.
Yeah, you know, that's how my friend and I found out that they knew we were so close.
Oh.
Because,
oh, no kidding. Okay.
They're never there, so how would they know? Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, wow.
Now.
So they're kind of monitoring from a distance.
Yeah.
Huh.
Now, did they ever put people, like, in charge? Like, would they pick somebody and kind of put them over?
Yeah, there were a couple times where, like, because I had been there the longest, or I worked the hardest, I was overseeing the donations and the people who would come to ask questions or wanted to volunteer, you know, when they weren't there. And then there was a guy that was on the same level as me, and we just kind of, you know, helped everything run smoothly. And then when we started noticing little things that we didn't agree with, we kind of tried to back off a little bit. Mm-hmm. And they noticed that. And they were like, you know, what's the problem? And, you know, one day I just said, I'd rather not be in a position of authority. I'm trying to get out of here. Mm-hmm. You know, I just want to do what I'm supposed to do. So that's when we started, that's when they started, like, trying to be there more when the donations would come in, to be sure that they were not touched and they were separated and put where they were supposed to go. We had a building that was our church, and it had picnic tables, and we had coffee pots and stuff in there. And a lot of times that's where, especially if it was raining, that's where volunteers would pull, or people making donations would pull to drop off their donations. And that building would be full. I mean, the donations that came through there is just unreal. But it got to the point where they were shutting the door and putting trash cans in front of it and bungee cording it so we could not get in the church.
Oh, wow.
And you're, like, are you, when you're there, are you able to use the phone, have people visit, like that sort of thing?
No. They don't want outsiders coming in there. And if you go somewhere, they are, you know, like if you have someone come take you somewhere, they're raked over the coals, and then you are. They want to know if you've been out doing drugs or whatever. And if you have someone that can come and get you and take you to the store or to pick up your medicine or whatever. Why are they not? Why are you not living with them?
Oh yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. So basically, if you have somebody come visit you, and
They must be able to take care of
Yeah.
you.
they start making you
Yeah.
feel like you can go live with them.
Right.
Oh, they
Okay.
say it. You know, why am I
Oh.
keeping you up
Mm.
when you have someone else out here?
Oh boy. Okay.
And that's been said quite a few times.
So, were they maybe monitoring your phone? Because everybody in the world can get on social media nowadays and kind of contact people and say, "Hey, I don't think something's right here." Were they monitoring you, or could you kind of communicate with your phones like how you wanted to?
Yeah, we could pretty much use our phones, but see, a lot of people there, if they had a phone, you know, they'd been there long enough to where they were all prepaid phones.
Right.
Just gonna be real. No one there had a plan on their phone.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So no one would have any minutes on their phone to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
The Wi-Fi was shut off.
Oh, so they didn't have Wi-Fi access, and you had data, but it was prepaid, so you didn't have much data.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And then we had Wi-Fi, so everyone was cool with that and being able to do things on their phone or whatever. Then they cut that out. So when the volunteer from the coast of North Carolina came, she provided internet, the Starlink.
Oh,
internet,
really?
Yeah.
No kidding.
So we were all
Marissa, you really need to stay
Stop
in one
walking in
place.
front of the camera, okay?
we were
Stop,
all
man.
you know loving that part. And then that didn't last very long after we moved to the new location because Debbie started feeling some kind of way about the lady that was volunteering
I
and
knew it.
ran her off
Mhm.
quickly.
We met her briefly, and she actually seemed like a really nice lady,
Yeah.
and she seemed to really believe things are
She
good there.
contacted me one
But she
time.
was new there when we
She was
first.
new.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she did a lot. She helped a lot. You know, she
Seemed nice.
she would cook for everyone. You know, she would have a big group text and say, "Hey, you guys, come up here. Dinner's ready, or lunch, or whatever." She did do that. And like I said, she took us to the store and stuff.
Mm.
But she also started seeing some things that she didn't agree with,
Right.
and so that started the ball rolling downhill for her.
Mm.
I mean,
What's that called?
if she so she didn't Debbie didn't take anyone to apply for jobs or get like maybe benefits,
Absolutely
their
not.
government benefits or nothing. So it was just kind of stay here, hold tight, and we'll eventually move you through until you get an apartment or something.
Yeah.
So that's what you're told, basically.
Yeah, they would either, if you had like disability or something already, they would transition you to an apartment somewhere, and if you didn't and you were able to get a job, they would help you get a job and give you your very own camper and put you in a spot, and you would have your job, so you'd be able to pay your lot rent every month. But the problem with that was most anyone there could get a job, but how are you going to get there
Right.
and back? It doesn't matter if you give people 5 free campers and put them in a campground, and you say they have a job tomorrow. They're not going to have it long because they cannot get there.
Yeah.
Right. And then we saw how far it was from everything.
Yeah.
Like we did see that. Was there when you did deal with Debbie or Ronnie, like how I guess how did they treat you?
Yeah,
Like how did they talk to you? Like were they friendly? Were they
Well, in the beginning, yeah, they were friendly. They act like they really cared. They'll come around and check on you and stuff. But you know, it got to where they, I guess, got tired of you, or you weren't doing what they wanted you to be doing, or you asked questions.
okay? So you said, for instance, as far as
The shower thing.
oh yeah, what's that?
Yeah, the shower thing. When we were at the Grandview location, we couldn't take showers there because it was just horrible. no one would really step in there.
Oh, so it's just nasty, dirty.
Yeah, really bad. So we cleaned them. Me and a guy. I did the women's, he did the men's. We cleaned those enough to where we could go in there and take a shower. And the whole time we were there, before we were made to leave, we got to take I got to take maybe 2 showers
Oh man.
the whole time.
Oh,
Because either the water would be frozen or there would be no lights.
oh,
Mm.
And we were told that up there where the bathrooms are, there's some tables in there, on the outside of that, and we would kind of have that was just a place where we would sit and talk amongst each other, and sometimes some donations would be sitting there. Well, we were told that by Ronnie and Debbie we could not sit there anymore. We had to go down to that church building because the people in the campground had said they were afraid to come up there and take a shower or use the bathroom or even come to the office because of us.
Really?
oh my Lord.
But then there again, the church would be locked or barricaded, but we couldn't get in there.
Oh wow.
And I mean, I don't know what anybody knows about being homeless, but when it rains, it pours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then if you have nowhere to go, you have nowhere to go but right back in your tent.
Mm.
Right. Oh man. So, okay. So when we've talked to whether it be John Ward or when you just hear them talking to videos, if somebody doesn't quote unquote like graduate out or whatever they call it when you get a
Yeah.
camper and stuff,
Don't follow the program.
when they get kicked out or they leave, it's always over drugs, they say. Did you see a lot of people leave that didn't have anything to do with drugs, like just leave because they didn't like it or they got kicked out for a different reason other than drugs?
Yeah. I did see, let's see. I've seen 2 people leave on their own. Well, one was a couple. They actually ended up going to the coast of North Carolina with a volunteer.
Mm.
And the other one, he just left because he started feeling that something shady was going on there, and he already had anxiety problems,
Mm.
and he just didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
anymore.
Right.
Actually 3, because there's 2 people that left on those terms. They just didn't want to be in it.
Hmm.
But yeah, everyone else, if you questioned anything, if you didn't agree with something or you thought something was, you just wondered why this went this way or this went that way. If you questioned anything, then you were leaving. I mean, it might not be tonight, but it would gradually, you would leave, and I've seen it happen so many times.
Right. That's why I ask, because they claim that only people that get booted is because of drugs, but yet you said they had 1 drug test the whole time you were there.
The whole time I was there, and I don't see how no one was coming and going.
Right, so it's not as though they leave and they come back and they seem high because they don't leave in the first place.
Right. It's
I can't do this with her ever again, dude.
No.
I can't. It's so bad. I just sit there and do it. Just stop. Oh my god. It's been constant with her lately. It's really difficult to do it.
oh,
But you
yeah.
had
Oh,
you said that there was 1 so they didn't have you drug test when you first come in or
No.
anything.
or weekly or anything like that.
No.
So there was 1. Was there a reason for it, or they just kind of sprung it on you?
Yeah, there was a reason. Well, they actually sprung it on us because I was actually chopping wood, and someone was down there with me. It may have been one of those guys that just got real anxious and left.
Mm.
Okay.
But we were chopping wood, and Ronnie came around the corner of the office building and said, because we were going back to our tents with the wood, and he was like, y'all don't go anywhere because we're having a meeting right here, right now. And this is like, I don't know, maybe 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. and it was raining, and we were like, what? So we had to go round everybody up until everybody come up here. So we go up there, and Ronnie's like, well, the reason that I called this meeting is, and Debbie chimed in and said, because everybody here is taking a drug test right now. And if you fail the drug test, you're out. And so she had them sitting out on the table, and she said, I'll be going in with the women, and Ronnie will be going in with the men.
Oh my gosh, so they watched too?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
That
wow.
is so not
I hadn't
legal.
even thought of that part of it.
Yeah, so you
Wow.
can't do that unless you're a probation officer or
Some kind of medical
a rehab. Even
professional,
rehabs don't
something like
usually
that.
watch you.
Well, they did
Depending,
and
sometimes
recorded
they
it.
do.
Today I
They-
took one at the doctor, and all they did was like I couldn't run the water. and,
Yeah.
you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like I had to just hand her the thing out the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they not recorded it video, but recorded it on paper. Who they were testing and what they failed for, and how much and all that stuff. And I, of course, was clean, so I didn't have to worry about that. I don't know who was clean and who failed. I was just worried about myself. However, I do know that 2 people that failed, that's just because they were friends close to me. I had got close to them while being there. They were brought in there for that specific reason. You know, that they were on drugs when they brought them in there, and they had not been there long enough for that to get out of their system.
Mm-hmm.
No, so they hadn't left and got drugs and got
No,
high. Like
No,
just,
they were brought in there.
That
Yeah,
makes sense.
and it takes a while for stuff to get out of your system.
Mhm.
right.
So that's what that was about. One girl did leave a couple of times with her friend, and she came back one night, and Debbie felt like she was on something, and they got into a big argument about that. Well, and she told that girl not to come back and take her anywhere else. Don't ever come back here.
There's the isolation right there.
Yeah. So then they got into it. Someone called. Okay, this situation is a crazy situation. This man and his wife were there, and she's the one that Debbie thought was on something and told the girl to never come back to her village to take anyone anywhere. Well, she had an ex that she had a stepdad who had raped her,
Oh.
and they had a situation with him. He called Debbie and told Debbie that she was somewhere trading pills for drugs. And so Debbie went down there right then and told her that get your stuff, get out.
Oh.
And she was trading also food stamps, or allegedly trading food stamps. We don't know that because the husband said, "I have my food stamp card. She don't get food stamps. I do." And she started a little argument about it. You know, about you're believing this person that I told you I had issues with when I came here. You're believing him. He's mad because we're here and doing good, but you're believing him and won't let me clear my name or prove anything. And she said, I told you shut up and pack your stuff and get out. But you don't have to go to the husband. You can stay here.
Oh my Lord.
But she can. And he was like, well, you know, I can't. There's no way that I can do that.
Wow.
And so they left.